8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game sound action.
I remember getting this game in Christmas of 2008 because I had played the demo on my PS3. I had never even heard of Punch-Out at the time, and the only other boxing game I played was the one from Wii Sports. So seeing a game like this with this wacky cast of characters, character creator, and battle damage, it was something I just had to get. Facebreaker is a game that was made by EA Sports Freestyle, or what most people remember as EA Sports. Specifically, Facebreaker was made by the same team behind Fight Night Round 3, which is held as probably the best boxing game of our time. Instead of focusing on the simulation boxing that they're known for, they decided to try something new. Something that was simple to grasp and hard to master, with an arcadey feel. Thus, Facebreaker was born.
I don't think I'll let you beat me right now.
One thing that tends to stand out about Facebreaker is the facial animations and the battle damage. You can really get fucked up in this game. The faces of the characters continue to get more distorted as they get hit, and certain uppercuts like to show this off, along with their arcade mode where you actually get to hear the characters speak. Not to mention that whoever loses gets their faces on a mount. Seeing the amount of expression on these faces remind me a lot of Street Fighter 4. In that game, any character on the receiving end of an ultra combo tends to make the face of absolute fear and dread. This game is such a weird one lost to time for the fact that no one really talks about it, along with promotional material and interviews for this game being kinda hard to find. There's supposed to be a few interviews from GameSpot, but due to how old these videos are, they don't really load without using the Internet Archive. It doesn't help that the EA Sports Freestyle brand doesn't even exist anymore. But even looking at the trailers for this game, despite them trying to make it feel so unique, some of it comes off as generic. A lot of these character designs are so dated, and it makes sense why no one's begging for a Facebreaker re-release.
So that's what we were trying to capture early on, and what we really focused on with the characters is creating these multiple layers of personality.
Kind of the angle we took with all the characters, right? Like, what's this guy's day job? My thing from the start was, you know, these have to be cool characters. And the litmus test for that is, would this character make a good action figure? And, you know, of course we didn't plan to make any action figures, but the idea was, you know...
You'd like to, though.
Let's look at the roster for a second. All the interesting part of these characters don't even come from the game itself. It really only shines in the trailers. There's a series of trailers called the audition tapes where the boxers try to get into the game, and it reminds me that a lot of the life in this game shows up less in gameplay and fighting styles and tends to show up more in the trailers and the stages.
Foolish mortal! I am a quadruple black belt ninja boxing master, and that was me performing the art of ninja boxing using my certified deadly weapons of death.
Okay, can you just do something crazy, please? Alright, this isn't gonna work. So, Kakoa is a surfer.
No way. Me too.
And he's a boxer.
Whoa.
This guy's perfect. Thank you.
Right. You gonna finish that donut?
Good. Okay, now, hold the sign up a little higher. Good. Actually, over your head, the sign. Good. Now, shake it. No, not the sign. Shake. You're right. Oh boy.
I was rather hoping I would play that chap with the talking socks on his hands.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We already cast that part.
Pity. Have you got anything else then? I would really prefer to fight. I am a trained boxer. I presume you have female boxers in this game.
Well, yeah, of course we do.
Let me guess. Perhaps some giggling pink tart in a miniskirt with a tight little bum.
Please. Our characters are much more original than that.
You know, I could really go for a latte right now. Could you be a peach?
Yeah. EA really doesn't have budget for those types of things.
We have donuts.
We do have donuts.
If I don't have a scalding hot latte in my hands in 2 minutes, somebody's gonna lose a.
So your name is Socks, and you've got sock puppets for boxing gloves. You see, the one sock is the good sock.
Hello. I know Shakespeare. I could do a short soliloquy.
And the other one is evil and nasty.
But soft, what light through yonder window?
Would you shut up? Honest to, you know what? One more crack out of you and that. What are you looking at? Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? That's it. I'm gonna replace my buttons with your eyeballs, fat boy. Get him! Poof! Take that, you! I hadn't finished my soliloquy. Yeah, well, you, I'm gonna get later. You, laughing boy, you like it, huh? You like that? Hey, you know, I'll show you how you like it. Why don't you bend over and take it up the... Oh, that's too much! Poof!
And you are crazy. Okay, I think we're good here.
Let's talk about the gameplay. This game is played in 3 rounds, first to 3 knockouts, with 2 health bars, with the last health bar regenerating as long as you're not getting hit. If you're doing things like landing attacks, parrying or dodging, your meter will build and you can unleash 1 of 5 breaker attacks. Haybreaker, which is the attack that you get with no breaker bar. You have Bone Breaker, which there are 2 types that you get from either high or low jab. You have Ground Breaker, which is 2 bars, and Skybreaker being 3, and with the big one, Facebreaker, that will immediately KO your opponent if it lands. Facebreakers are kinda hard to land, unless your opponent has no idea how to defend themselves, as the startup for all these breakers are quite large. Along with this comes actual stun. Every character has a way to guarantee stun, but it all happens in very different ways. Ice, for instance, has his stun around low Bone Breaker, and landing it can be kind of hard unless you really have the momentum going, since characters can just kind of like interrupt it due to the large startup. Other characters like Kiriko or Romeo, who has their stuns focused around more defensive play. Romeo's is more focused around counter parrying your parry, and then Kiriko has one where it's based around countering your dodge, forcing the opponent to basically play their game to avoid getting stunned. Since hitting someone's guard also builds breaker meter, this game starts out as something that's really easy to pick up, but can grow to become really passive and meticulous. It's definitely possible to steamroll your way through matches, but it's just as easy to stall your opponent for 3 rounds and land 1 knockout during sudden death to win the game that way. Despite the nuance that Facebreaker claims it has, it doesn't really come off that way, and usually just results in a giant slugfest. It doesn't help that moving around in this game feels absolutely horrible, so trying to get people to whiff an attack is less than an option. That begs the question, why does the movement feel so bad in the first place?